Hello and welcome to Popalong RC, and we are back at DMS Racing. This was a great club night, super busy here because they have their winter series on the Saturday. This is a Thursday night, and this is the carnage and the fun that is open practice. It's a bit of a free-for-all, and yeah, everyone's having a real good laugh, partly getting used to the track, but partly it's just yeah, super fun, loads of cars on track. I have broken cars in the past during this carnage, but you know what, it's such good fun and it's a good opportunity to get to know the track. So today I am running the Schumacher LD3. Meanwhile, Mark is running his team associated B6.4. Now he's been running his car for a while, and he is starting to really get the hang of this car. Obviously during this time when it's practice and there's carnage on the track, you're free to make a few mistakes, but the most interesting feature on this track is the double at the end of the straight. Now some people were trying to make it, some people were rolling through it, other people were clearing it and heading into the wall at the beginning of the straight. So it was the feature on the track that was going to determine your successes. That being said, when it came to qualifying, there were people who were rolling the double and making the A final. So therefore, it wasn't always quicker to be going for the big double. If you got it right though, it was obviously the quicker option. Now over to Mark. Mark actually was qualifying in the fastest heat. Meant he had fast cars on the track with him. As you can see there, he is not taking the double, but he's super quick around this track, super tight turns. His car is handling as well as it ever has been. He's taking some super neat lines there, and carrying good speed. So with regards qualifying, I think after the first round Mark was sitting A3, and he managed to hold on to that and qualified in the A final. So he was at one point, I think maybe even A2 part way through a qualifying, but I think he ended up A5. But really strong performance there from Mark, and the top guys at this club are very, very fast. As for me, now I was one mistake away from a B final today. So in the early rounds, I'm quite a long way down. But as you can see here, my times are pretty consistent. But we've got this one time which is nearly 10 seconds slower. And that 10 seconds would have bumped me up quite a lot. So I would have I would have won that heat that I was in. And then if you look at my next one here, same sort of thing. I had this one lap which cost me, so where is it? It's there, 25-second laps again. That's 10 seconds I've lost there, which had I not had that one incident in this race, I would have been in the B final for the first time. Okay, so here it is, my final, starting fourth on the grid, and we are away. I tried to keep out of trouble on this first turn. There was a little bit of contact on the first lap, which often happens. The car in third place goes a little bit wide there. I thought there was a space up the inside, and we got a little bit tangled. But coming out onto the end of the first lap, and I am in third place now. There's a little gap to first and second, but I know from the last round of qualifying that I've got the pace to be up with the fast guys in this race. So it's just about now getting into a rhythm, keeping my turns nice and tight, not making too many mistakes. A little bit tight there on the entry to the straight and come over the inside of the turn. Good thing about these wooden turns is actually they are quite forgiving, unlike the red hose pipe we see at many of the clubs we run at. But I'm just keeping it clean, still not doubling on the big feature at the end of the track there. I found it was quicker just to roll through because it was more consistent. As you can see now, I'm closing up on second place. A little bit tight on that turn there, but as I say, it's a little bit forgiving, so I got away with it. Really starting to draw into the second place car now. I was finding we were sort of concertinaing in this race. I was drawing in closer, and then he was pulling away, and this kind of continued for a few laps. But it was just about keeping it nice and tight through this section was helping me just to draw it in even closer, try and get as straight through there as possible. Another nice couple of tight turns, and again I'm right on his bumper. I think most people in this race are actually taking the double as 2 singles as opposed to trying to gap it. But for me, I just want to keep my consistent laps down and hope that the car in front, I can put them under some pressure and they make some mistakes. So he's gone a little bit uneven over that double, which means I can draw in a little bit closer now. Again, I just need to keep it nice and tight. I don't need to do anything different to what I'm doing at the moment, because I am closing the gap nice and smooth through there. This is actually the smoothest I've ever driven with this car. It's been an absolute pleasure to drive. As far as gearing and motors go, I've got nothing turned up yet. I'm running everything as sort of low as possible. I've not even got a fan in the car at the moment, and the car's still coming off cool. As you can see now, I'm a lot closer and forced the mistake there going over the roller. The car in front of me now is actually the first place car, and the car in front of that is a back marker. Now, we don't want to get tied up with the back markers. I was lucky to get through there, so now I'm hot on the heels of first place. I'm going to try and get the move done and I've jumped over him there. That was a lovely little move. Didn't quite pull it off because I've gone a little bit deep. I am quite conscious of this back marker though, because he is travelling a lot faster than me through some sections, and I'm just hoping we don't get tangled up. I don't want to make contact. I'm trying to avoid contact, and unfortunately I didn't get away with it. So I am still in second place because that is a back marker, and I'm hoping that I can just get through without getting tangled up, and I can get back on the hunt for the first place position. Mistake from the back marker puts me back in the hunt. Now, this is where I made my first mistake. I was like excited that I was back in the hunt, so I started to push, and there is my big mistake of the race. What that's done is let second place through, and I'm back in with the back markers again, so I need to try and not get tagged, and unfortunately I'm tagged again. A little bit of a tie up there. I think that was more my fault. Maybe I should have waited on that one. I kind of didn't know where I was. I knew I was top 3, but looking back at this video, I think that might have been a race for position, so apologies there. As far as I'm concerned now, got a bit of clear track, head down, and I am literally just charging to see if I can catch up with the guys. It's a little bit late in the race now, so I'm not sure whether I've got time to do it. I'm going to have to hope that one of the guys in front of me makes a mistake, I think. So this really is all about getting some nice clean laps in. Went a little bit long there on the jump and got away with it, didn't roll the car. So for me, having a car that behaves like this is really pleasant to drive. That's the thing about this LD3. I'm actually finding it really enjoyable to drive. It's doing exactly what I want it to do. I'm able to hold nice tight lines, and there's so much more in the car that as and when I build my confidence, I can start pushing. For these first few outings, and for a couple more, my focus is going to be on consistency, consistent laps, trying not to make mistakes as opposed to fastest laps. And